Good afternoon, and right now I'm going to tell you one of the greatest stories of Ernest Hemingway. And this story is called The Old Man and the Sea. So, let's begin. This story begins with an old man called Santiago who hasn't caught any fish for 84 days. This man lives in Cuba. And let me tell you that this is not just one man. There are many fishers that work on the waters of the Gulf Stream. However, Santiago is the one that can get at least just one fish. And that's why the other fishermen are laughing at him and making him salad, or in this case, a person who always got bad luck. Once he got at the port, he met Manolin. Manolin is a young boy whose parents let him to work alone. And by the way, he started to admire the positivism of Santiago. And Santiago taught him every single detail of fishing. So he got into a moment that Santiago gave Manolin a boat. And this boat can bring good luck. And fortunately for Manolin, he always fished a lot of fishes. It doesn't matter about what it happens to Santiago, but Manolin enjoys and admires him, besides that he can be a salao. Once they got their drinks and finished talking about fishing and all that stuff, they decided to start talking about baseball. Santiago's greatest star is Joe DiMaggio. This man is the leader of his favorite teams of all the time. And this team is the New York Yankees from New York. He admires Joe DiMaggio ever since he had memory. Nonetheless, once they got back to the shore, Santiago's shore, they continued talking about baseball. Once they finished, Manolin said goodbye to him and he told him to have wonderful dreams or have a good night as well. And Santiago said likewise, little boy. Once Santiago, started to sleep, he started dreaming about the lions on the beaches of Africa. And these lions can be around the beach and they are just living their lives at its best. And that is all that they just have until that moment in Santiago's dreams. The next day, Santiago take his skiff, leave his shack, and he went to the port. Once he got there, he enrolled to go sailing one more time. Once he was at the open sea without nobody else, no other fisherman, he started to look it up if he can catch something. Fortunately, he threw his harpoon to one fish, and he said, okay, this is gonna be my best moment that I can just have. But he didn't imagine that this can be one of the struggles that he ever had before. Up to this moment, it was the noon of that day, and they start fighting against just with a single fish, and he didn't have no idea about which fish is he's fighting, and the fish started to go deeper and deeper, and he was holding the skiff to his direction. The fish was totally strong, and they start like having like an argument. For example, that Santiago was just saying aloud that he wished to have the boy with him to help him because he couldn't make him more. When he realized that it was the night, when the night falls down, he just got that he has to go ahead and keep fighting in order to catch that fish. By next morning, he realizes that he is still fighting with the fish, but he couldn't face it anymore, and the fish decided to rebel himself. It was a huge marlin with approximately 18 foot of length. Believe it or not, it is one of the largest fish that he saw at that moment, and he couldn't make it up to hold him just a little bit more, and that's why he decided to release little by little the cord of his harpoon, and the battle against with the mother has started to become an end. The marlin couldn't make it anymore. He was tired, and the big fish started to not be so severe with the old man with his skiff, and he started to not moving anymore, and that is why Santiago reached another harpoon and killed the marlin. Since he couldn't put it inside his own skiff, he tried to wrap it up in the boat, in the part of the boat, not inside. He decided to put it along with the boat, but with 2 to 3 ropes against the boat. So it was in the part of the boat outside. Fortunately, there was nothing in there at the moment, but the fish was dripping blood, and that blood got into 2 sharks. These 2 sharks went through him, and they started to eating the marlin. Unfortunately, the old man was tired, but he decided to fight against those sharks in order to demonstrate that once he arrived at the port, he got the greatest fish that every single fisherman can imagine in his entire life. And that is why it has been 2 to 5 days in the sea for Santiago. When he was near to sink at the port, he realized that there was no more marlin anymore. It was just a skeleton. This skeleton surprised the other fishermen that saw him, and no other fisherman believed that he was alive. They said that he was lost and he will never come back anymore. But when they saw it, and Manolin as well, they got happy, surprised, amused, etc. And he demonstrates that he could get what the others couldn't. Manolin went to him in order to help him and to unwrap the fish or the skeleton of the marlin, and showed the skeleton to the other fisherman. However, the other fisherman said that he is not allowed anymore. So good luck came back to him, and he was like arrogant at the beginning, but he was satisfied that he could make it to get at least one fish through 85 to 89 days. So this is like how he decided to go ahead and to persuade the others to not be so complicated and try to fight to every single situation that they just have. It can be a good one or a bad day, but they can get whatever they want. Few days later, Santiago was relaxed at his shore and he was trying to be asleep. Nonetheless, Manolin was trying to ask him once again to go out with him at fishing at the open sea or at the Gulf Stream. And he decided to say in this time yes to Manolin, but Santiago wants to sleep. He just wants to sleep and have a good day, just for a moment. But during his sleeping, he was dreaming once again on his youth and the lions in the beaches of Africa. Lion symbol, it reflects the youth and virility of this man, and this is just to thinking about what is going to be about yourself in maybe the near future or your entire life until the end you die. The lions demonstrate that besides the obstacles, they manage to go ahead and beyond that situation, no matter what the situation is, but they just make it up to go ahead. And these lions as well represents how a man, or maybe a teenager could be, in this case, besides Santiago, Manolin can be a good motivation for the other people, and that's how it goes. Additionally, this can be like the strength of Santiago, because besides that he couldn't have something through 84 days, he could make it by the next days, since he decided to go ahead and try to get at least just one fish. He was not as a conformist, he's not like that, but he just fights to get whatever he really wants. And that's the end of the Old Man and the Sea.